So what's happening? Is this slave trade? Is this a new slave trade? What is the real name for what's happening there now?
Well, look, in the absence of a better world, I think in the absence of a better world, we probably just have to call it slave trade. But it's remarkably different from the slave trade
where people are not coming to capture Africans.
No, they're not really captured.
How is it happening?
No, it's not as if they came to Nigeria and No, these guys just went in and walked into a horrible situation.
Put it differently. The people are captured. They are captured, but captured in transit as they are traveling.
No. You got to start from the start of the journey.
Okay.
The story you showed us, if you look at the full details of it, the guy was told that life could be better if he could get to point A.
Yes.
He would do A, B, C, D, point B, but every point you have to pay.
Yes.
It's when you get to that point where you can no longer pay, and the guy who's collected the money to enable you travel has also disappeared along the line. Yes. So you are just left on your own, nowhere to go, nothing to do, nobody to talk to. And so they leave you in a situation where you run into these, those who control the trade.
Yes.
And that's where the issue of capture comes in. Yeah. But until then, it's a well-organized system, beginning from the country here. There's some churches have been accused of being involved. Some agents, I know some years ago, some ladies claimed they were recruited in a saloon. Somebody came to the saloon and said, look, I could get you all jobs in Europe to be doing the same thing.
Now, those people, did they know that they will not make it into Europe? I mean, they were just taking money from
there's no way, because look.
No, I'm talking about the guys that told them that I could get you into Europe.
They knew, because the guy that was interviewed recently.
So what's the name of that trade that they're in? To get me out into Europe, then I get captured along the way.
The guy that told a story on NTA, I think it's called Planner from Ibadan, who narrated his own experience.
Yes.
A friend of his came to him and said, look, I have a cousin somewhere in Europe who wants to help you develop your music career and the rest of it. But guess what? We will help you to get to Europe, but you have to pay $350,000. And the guy, with the help of his relations, put together paid, and and he was expecting, sold them passport. They got him a passport and said, and then when he demanded for visa, they said, don't worry, you don't need a visa. And they said, how do I get to Europe without a visa? They said they've arranged everything. Then they took him from there to Kano, I think, and somewhere else, and then kept him in a house. And no, actually, he flew there. Somebody met him, took him to a house and said, oh, they are going to arrange everything. At that point, he didn't know they were going by road. It was midnight. He just found out that there were more than just himself. There were many other young men and women who were brought in. And he was, so listen, we are leaving tonight, we are leaving tonight. Before he could say, where are we leaving to? He was forced into a vehicle. And then they started crossing the border to Niger, from there across the Sahara to Libya. Goodness. Just as simple as that. It was halfway down the line that this guy realized the mess in which he has gotten himself.
Okay, so now what about this notion that in Europe, because the European countries don't want Africans coming in as immigrants, because they don't also want the Arabs that are escaping the crisis in the Arab world. They don't want them in Europe. And so they are supposedly giving money to warlords in Libya who have set up these deportation camps in order to send people back to their respective countries in sub-Saharan Africa. What's in that story? Is that a true story? Is that happening? Listen, have you heard this?
Look, it's not impossible. Yes. I cannot say it's true or not true. But when you see the situation in Europe, the rise of nationalism, the anti-immigration, behavior of Europeans today, it's not impossible. Remember that a number of countries did face the rise of nationalism and governments were collapsing, and far extreme rights who were anti-immigration, who want to, send out immigrants, we're gaining strong ground in Europe. So it's not impossible that governments actually went into such a deal in order to reduce people coming in from Libya. Yeah. I think what went wrong at the end of the day was that the Libyans turned the whole thing into a business.
Yes.
And everybody saw opportunity to make money. And in any case, if you go through the history of the Arabs, they never had any regard for the black people anyway. So for them, one more maltreatment of blacks to make money means little or nothing to them. It's their philosophy, it's their way of life. And
so as you have served extensively and at a very high level in the government. What is there anything that the government of Nigeria, in this case we're talking Nigeria, is there something that the government should have done? Is there some intelligence that we should have gotten? Mind you, CNN exposes this whole thing. So how did it happen that CNN got this information without the African governments getting the information ahead of time and doing something, talking to their people, preventing their people from going through this terrible experience?
That's a damn good question.
Yes.
I do not think that we do not know, but I do not think we consider it a priority or something of special interest. It's also possible that given the destabilization of Libya, it became very difficult to really have an insight, a proper understanding of what was going on within, Libya itself. But here's my take on this. If we have a good intelligence that has cooperation with the rest of global intelligence agency, they should know, or they should have known.
Yes.
And I tell you why. I'm aware of the fact that till today, the Americans and the Europeans are trying to negotiate with the warlords to see if they could form a unified government in Libya.
But there are said to be many of them.
Huh?
There are said to be many of these warlords.
But they are talking
because you have at least two main types of governments and several warlords in Libya.
Whether there are many or not, it's irrelevant. The fact is that they are talking to them.
Okay.
Whether they are talking to 5, whether they are talking to 10, it's irrelevant. They are talking to to most of the factions in Libya today. And they should have heard, they should have known. If the CNN lady, as she reported, that they had this information, believe me, other intelligence agencies had it.
Yes.
Or heard it before the CNN crew knew about it.
So, Ambassador, now these guys that are being repatriated home, that have been, deported, whatever, they're deported home. These guys, as they're deported home, should we rehabilitate them? Should we give them a transformation program? Should there be, what should we call it? Amnesty for them? Should we give them something?
They're not committed.
Because the term that we're familiar with, we know that term. So, amnesty. So, should we give them something, rehabilitate them? And if we do, wouldn't other people say, oh, so all you have to do is try to go out and then they will rehabilitate you and then they'll take care of you. So, but really, in reality, we can't just dump them back and just say, okay, you're on your own, you're back in your country. Because they've exhausted all their resources. They wanted to go somewhere they thought was better, and now they're back home. Would they not be armed robbers and cultists and all those kinds of things?
You're right, but the way forward is to rehabilitate them. Do an inventory of who they are, what they were doing before, or what they are capable of doing, and if they are not capable of doing anything, possibly train them, take them through a kind of labor training, so that when they leave with some little resources, they can at least start something on their own. Beyond that, honestly, I even doubt the capacity of government itself
to do that.
Because I read somewhere on my way here that there are about 2,700 more people, Nigerians, still in, the ones we know, not in the areas where we can't
yes,
reach.
Yes.
Waiting evacuation to to Nigeria. And if all these are going to, if well over 2/3 or a quarter, even a quarter, are from Edo State or Delta or Anambra and so on, it is going to put an extra strain on the governments of these states.
What about all these NGOs? What about churches and mosques and all these people?
Listen, in some cases, the churches were also involved. But you know what? The responsibility of developing or rehabilitating these people, yes, the churches can come in and help. But quite frankly, this is a government business.
Okay, Ambassador, on that note, I want to thank you so very much.
As always, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.